Today on the Travel Magazine, we will visit the medieval city of Luzern, Switzerland. But first, to the Canadian Muskokas. Sunrise. Another day dawns bright in the Canadian Muskoka region. Situated in the province of Ontario, this beautiful area is a natural masterpiece. Although it's only a 2.5-hour drive from Toronto, Canada's largest city, Deerhurst Resort is the perfect location for enjoying rolling wooded countryside and crystal clear lakes. Hi, I'm Jake de Boer, and today on the Travel Magazine, we are going to take a closer look at this resort that has something to offer for everyone, from nature lovers to sports enthusiasts.
Deerhurst is situated on Peninsula Lake with over 1,000 acres of rolling and wooded countryside. Peninsula Lake is the headwaters of a chain of 4 lakes, and you can take a boat from our docks here and boat to over 110 kilometers of shoreline on the 4-lake system.
The Muskoka area borders Algonquin Provincial Park, one of Canada's most renowned natural resources. The park consists of 3,000 square miles of unspoiled wilderness.
Deerhurst started in 1896 when the Waterhouse family arrived and purchased a 1,000-acre lot right here on one of the peninsulas on Peninsula Lake. Shortly thereafter, a little bit of expansion, and in the last 4 years, a lot of expansion to 370 condominium units with over 460 bedrooms.
The resort offers the chance to get away from city life and provides all the luxuries of home. Excellent meeting facilities are also available. And there are restaurants for every taste and budget. If you're the active type, there is always something to do in the Muskokas.
We have our Deerhurst stables, which offer horseback riding, sleigh rides, hay rides, cutter rides, and it's as simple as picking up the phone to make a reservation, and our shuttle will take you right to the door.
They're mostly quarter horses, so they're all pretty easy. They're all well-trained horses. They're quite adaptable to put kids on. If we have a problem with kids, or adults, a lot of adults are more problem than kids, we just pony them down the trail.
Okay, ready to roll.
We have 1 hour, which is a guided trail ride, strictly walking for the more novice. We have a 2-hour ride, which has limited trotting and cantering. It's also with a guide. And then we have a 4-hour ride with or without a lunch, and you can stop at a lake and have lunch there.
We have a variety of topography that we can offer to the guests. Superb hiking trails that'll get your cardiovascular activity going. We have some very nice rolling hills, which we have transformed into some of the most beautiful golf courses in Ontario. We have our 4,500-yard lakeside par 65 course, which is great for those that are learning to golf. A lovely practice range facility, the only one of its kind in this area, and our jewel of golf courses, the Deerhurst Highlands course, 7,011 yards, just opened 3 years ago.
And a quick lesson can make a pro out of just about anyone. Well, almost.
Yeah!
We'll be back with more of the Muskokas on the Travel Magazine right after this, so stay with us. Once the snow falls, the Muskoka region turns into a winter wonderland. Although there's plenty to do at Deerhurst during the warmer months, when the snow flies, things really heat up.
Our snowmobiles, we have about 24 snowmobiles, and we offer guided safaris into the trails and onto the fields and onto our lakes here in Muskoka, ranging in length from 30 minutes to an all-night excursion out into the forest, where we serve hot chocolate and have a nice dinner waiting for you at the bonfire.
Canadian winters are famous for their abundance of fresh fallen snow. And of course, all of that snow means great skiing. One of the Muskoka's best and busiest ski destinations is Hidden Valley Highlands.
Well, we have quite a variety of terrain here for everybody, from beginner to intermediate to advanced skiers. So we have the 3 lifts, 2 double chairs and quad chair. Very little lift lines, good snow. It's just a fun place to be.
I think it's terrific. Snow is usually pretty good, it lasts longer than most other places. And the people here are very friendly. It's just good fun.
I've skied here most of my life at this resort, and I'm having a great time. There's so much to do up here. Even if you don't want to ski, there's lots of other stuff to do too, and the nightlife's good.
The resort's cabaret show is just one of your many options for an evening's entertainment.
It's basically a retrospective of music from the 50s right through the present day, with all styles, rock and R&B, and including the British invasion through the 60s, and then the confused era in the 70s, the disco and all of that, right through the present day. And it's kind of a fun, high-energy, fast-paced show. You know, it's really a lot of fun to see.
It doesn't matter who's wrong or right, just be. Rescue me, and take me in your arms, rescue me. I want your tender charms.
And just when the action starts to heat up, things get even hotter. Every summer, vacationers escape to the Muskokas for its beautiful blue lakes and abundance of sunshine. At Deerhurst, the center of activity, without any doubt, is right here at Peninsula Lake.
Well, the summer's definitely my favorite. There's so many things to do here at Deerhurst that you've actually got virtually an endless supply of activities to keep yourself busy with. From the waterfront perspective, we've got canoes, kayaks, pedal boats, windsurfers, sailboats, a plentiful supply of these, and they're included in your room rate. You don't have to pay anything. You just come and take one out, and it's yours for as long as you want it. We've got 3 squash courts, racquetball, fitness room, 5 swimming pools in total on the resort, and that includes 2 indoor pools. We have 12 tennis courts.
Up to it. Good. Keep it in flat.
Oh, it's a magnificent setting.
The lake here is just a perfect setting, and you've got the tennis courts and you've got the golf course, and there's just so much to do here. You can just relax and do as much or as little as you want.
This resort offers more experience than any other resort in Ontario. And what we find our guests saying is that I didn't believe anything like this existed in this province. So every time we see a guest here at the resort and it's their first time, they tend to say, well, it's not going to be my last. And they bring and tell other friends for their next visit.
The travel magazine will be back with Luzern, Switzerland, right after this. Cities in the world can claim to be at the foot of one of the most beautiful mountain ranges in the world. Even fewer can boast about having freshwater beaches right at their doorstep. The Swiss city of Luzern not only has both of these, but it also offers high culture for the connoisseur, relaxation for the weary, and entertainment for the pleasure seeker. You soon realize why people often lean back and say, ah, Luzern. Now this is the good life.
Just a year ago, about 600,000 readers of Condé Nast Traveler found out that the small city of Luzern belongs to one of the most popular cities in the whole world. We can name Luzern together with Rome, Paris, or San Francisco. And the small city in Switzerland with only 60,000 population is very proud of that. We have 3 golden points. Point number 1 is the water. We have a river and we have a lake. And I would say that the water doubles the attractivity of every city in the whole world. Point number 2 is the medieval city. A big part of our city is really very well kept, and most of the houses dates back to the Middle Age and give a really medieval atmosphere to all the visitors.
Among the most historic landmarks in Luzern is the Chapel Bridge. Known the world over, it is the very symbol of Luzern. Luzern was also home to the late composer Richard Wagner. His house now stands as a museum, and as Mark Twain described it, the saddest piece of rock in the world.
During French Revolution, we had quite a bit of soldiers who were under the French kings, and they all died. And that's why we put here in memory of these Swiss soldiers who died for a French king, the dying lion of Luzern.
Ja, sind schön. So, danke vielmals.
The open-air market, situated on the banks of the river, offers locals a chance to buy produce and delights visitors from all over the world, all against the backdrop of the medieval city.
The medieval city. It's really one of the most attractive shopping paradises all over our country. Shopping is a very important part to the Luzern tourism, and I think no tourist leaves our city without having bought something. For everybody is something to be found in the old, small, little shops around on both sides of our river. Luzern is also famous for their museums. We have 10 different museums, and the most popular is the Transportation Museum. It's the most popular all over the country, and there is no other museum with so many visitors a year. About 600,000 are coming to see the show here on the shore of Lake Luzern.
The Swiss discovered very early that transportation in all valleys of Switzerland was important to reach all kinds of peoples, to reach the farmers, to be able to supply them with food and construction material. And so Switzerland started very early to have a railway system, a very efficient one throughout the whole of Switzerland. On all the lakes we have, of course, the steamboats, and that was first of all for transportation, but then at the end of the last century it was also the importance of tourism, because from England came the tourism, and those people wanted to enjoy these lakes not only by walking alongside them, but by taking a nice steamboat and crossing it.
The museum not only features steamboats, the largest operational fleet in Europe, but also an exhibit of the country's national airline.
Swissair is our national carrier, and of course we're very proud of it. And for Swissair we give, of course, the possibility to expose them. They don't have their own museum, and it's very important that Swissair can show what they were, what they are today, to the public and to all their future customers.
Which brings us to Luzern's third golden point, Mount Pilatus, the splendid mountain with rugged peaks that overlook the city.
Mount Pilatus offers the chance to discover different means of transportation in the Swiss mountains. There is the cogwheel train, 48 degrees, the steepest in the whole world, or also cable cars or gondolas. On one side, this is my recommendation, you take on one side to go up is maybe very spectacular, to go up by the cogwheel train, and the other way around on the other side of Mount Pilatus by gondola and by cable car. A lot of varieties how to discover the Swiss mountains.
Luzern may be a medieval city, but it offers an incredible variety of nighttime activities. From a midnight stroll along the quiet shores of the river to live theater and concerts, Luzerners love to enjoy the night.
Nightlife is also a big attraction. And of course we have for the young people the discos, the night bars, the nightclubs, very, very popular and changing all the time.
But if nightclubs aren't your style and you want a taste of the local traditions, you have to experience a Swiss folklore show.
Especially for our tourists, we run 3 different night shows, Swiss folklore shows, and most of the tourists really don't miss and don't leave Luzern without having seen one of our shows. We perform Swiss yodeling, flag throwing, alphorn blowing, and of course together with Swiss specialities, cheese fondue, raclette, rösti, or sliced veal and a glass of wonderful Swiss white wine. That gives the real atmosphere and belongs to a stay in our city.
And audience participation is widely encouraged.